A historic day for these countries, one could say. Could you please give us a quick sense of what this deal entails and who has to give what?
So right now, we're witnessing the signing of the Al-Ula Declaration that has marked the end of the 3-year-long crisis that has been going on in the Gulf region and beyond, which began in 2017 when Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the UAE, and Egypt have imposed a land, air, and sea blockade on Qatar. So with the Al-Ula Declaration, which was signed today, it means that the blockade has been lifted on Qatar and that now the countries will be opening up their airspace, their land borders, and their waters for Qatar to freely fly through and enter. And we started seeing that on Monday night, just hours before the signing of the declaration, where Saudi Arabia has opened its shared Saudi-Qatari borders. And that deal also entails more cooperation between the GCC, where citizens of all countries in the GCC can have shared employment opportunities, shared equal access to education, and equal investment opportunities as well. And also the countries have now teamed up to combat issues that would pose a threat to the region and beyond.
Absolutely. And what kind of damage has there been in the last 3 years, be it economically or politically?
So the people who have sustained the most damage the moment the blockade was announced in 2017 were the people, the citizens of the GCC and Egypt. So, for example, students who hold the Qatari citizenship studying in the UAE had to go back to their country and had to stop their education and seek different plans in order to keep going with their degrees. And especially families who hold citizenships of several GCC countries. So some people would have Qatari fathers and then Saudi mothers and wouldn't be able to freely see them. And there were several complications during that time. But now we're going to see the unity of the families. People can finally travel in the region without any restrictions, without fears of not being able to enter and planning their visits weeks in advance.
So mostly the impact has been social.
It has been a social impact. And also from the economic perspective, we've seen Qatar's ability to rise during the crisis.
And politically, in terms of the Middle East and perhaps Northern African region, what does this lift mean?
It means more unity. It means countries can unite more without restrictions to combat all sorts of issues. And now we've also seen as part of the declaration, the countries can now unite to combat issues that threat the region, and not just the GCC, but the Middle East region as a whole. And one of them was also joining efforts to combat terrorism and fraud and crime across different parts of the world.
And after the signing of this deal, there are loose ends, for lack of a better word to call it, that need to be tied up. But should they be tied up in the first place, considering all these different countries have different cultures and policies?
So at the moment, at least from what I've been witnessing, from what I know, there seems to be a lack of trust between the citizens of the countries, as when the blockade was first announced, the citizens were virtually attacking one another and became a source and the citizens kind of split. So politics aside, the people have separated, but now with the ties being restored again, the citizens will need their time to reconnect and unite again.
And who do you think has been driving this push to this deal? Could you say it's Kuwait, or which other, like, who has been the main hand in pushing for this blockade to be lifted?
So, since the blockade was first announced in 2017, the former Kuwaiti emir, who had unfortunately passed away in 2020, was playing the key role in the region as the mediator. He has been mediating between the countries, traveling back and forth for negotiations. And even after his passing, Kuwait has maintained its role in ensuring that the blockade on Qatar is lifted. So Kuwait has been definitely a driving force, but also the US has had its own significant role as well. So back in December, when White House advisor Jared Kushner visited Qatar and Saudi Arabia, we began seeing announcements of a potential breakthrough, which was later confirmed by Kuwait's foreign minister and then Qatar's foreign minister.
Thank you so much, Asmahan, for speaking to us today.